welcome back to my show. My name is Carolyn. I am a creative entrepreneur and a retired comedian working in the startup and tech world. Today, I want to talk about Canva, a graphic design app that has been blowing up over the last few years and why I personally am absolutely obsessed. Let's get started. We're gonna have some fun today. What? Here's what you need to know. To the moon! To the moon! Today I'm going to be talking about an Australian unicorn called Canva, why I'm absolutely obsessed with them, and why I think they're going to the moon. Here's what you need to know. Canva is a graphic design platform that allows designers and completely normal people to build various graphic designs, presentations, social media shenanigans, posters, documents, and more. The app includes thousands of templates and is phenomenally easy to use. Seriously, I figured out how it worked within about 20 minutes. The best part though is that the app itself is completely free to use for most individuals, though they do have Canva Pro and Canva Enterprise for any graphic designers or businesses who are looking to work with the platform on a more advanced level. Canva has 3 co-founders, Cameron Adams, Cliff Obrecht, and Melanie Perkins, the CEO. However, it wasn't always that way. Let's rewind back a little bit. Back in college, Melanie Perkins was earning a side hustle, basically, by teaching people how to use Adobe Photoshop and Sketch. However, the complexity of these platforms caused Perkins and Obrecht, her then boyfriend, now husband and co-founder of Canva, to wonder if there was a way they could make these softwares easier for people to use, or if they could just build one themselves. They started Fusion Books in 2007, a website that helped schools build their own yearbooks online. The company became incredibly popular, so much so that Perkins ended up leaving university to pursue it full-time and eventually build Canva as we know it today. Australians call colleges universities. All colleges. If you refer to a university as a college, they think you're in high school. Very important information that you need to know. And by 2010, Perkins and Obrecht decided to expand beyond yearbooks and started trying to get Silicon Valley investment. It was a bit of an interesting situation, to say the very least. I'll show you some clips.
There was an investor called Bill Tai who was over from Silicon Valley in Perth, and I met him after a conference. I spoke to him for 5 minutes and said if I went to San Francisco he'd be happy to meet with me. And true to his word, he met with me, and at that point in time I thought that he didn't really like what I had to say. He was on his phone, but then I got home and realised that he was actually introducing me to a few people.
Oh wow. The legendary venture capitalist invited Melanie to Mai Tai.
I think the kind of person that's drawn to a startup likes to believe that they can control the forces of nature.
Bill had hosted this kite surfing and entrepreneurship conference. So every time he would say, like, how was my business going, he'd also be like, how's your kite surfing going? I had not done it before, and to be honest, it's not something that I would normally naturally try. It's my risk tolerance. Yeah, it's just probably... When you don't have any connections, you don't have any network, you just kind of had to wedge your foot in the door and then just wiggle it all the way through.
2012, after a lot of networking, kite surfing, and some other shenanigans, they ended up bringing on Cameron Adams, a former Google exec, to become the 3rd co-founder and chief of product. They finally raised their first round of funding in March of 2013, and that's when Canva was officially born. All right, guys, let's talk some numbers. Canva has grown a ton since then. They received $71 million in funding and reached a $15 billion valuation this April of 2021. This was a massive jump for them, especially considering that they had a valuation of $6 billion in the beginning of the pandemic. That's basically $10 billion of growth right there. What? Granted, a lot of pandemic companies had similar reactions. Still, it's massive. Like, look at the scale. What? But on top of all that, Canva remains profitable. This spring, they announced that they passed over $500 million in annualized revenue, which was a 130% increase from the year before. It's really impressive growth, which is surely making their investors, including SoftBank and Sequoia Capital, really happy. One of the most interesting things about Canva is their business model. Despite the fact that nearly all of their customers are on their freemium model, basically being able to use the website as much as they want for free to a certain extent, they have a surprising amount of revenue streams. As I mentioned before, they have 2 subscription programs: Canva Pro for graphic designers or anybody who uses Canva on a regular basis and wants access to all of the different design tools, and Canva Enterprise, which is designed for larger companies or small teams to be able to work together and use all of the tools that Canva has available for them. They already have some pretty incredible clients, including American Airlines, Kimberly-Clark, McKinsey, Salesforce, and in addition to all of that, they apparently work with 85% of Fortune 500 companies, at least in some capacity.
Anything for my favorite customer.
I bet you say that to all the girls.
Oh, no, actually, you're my favorite. You spent over $1,000 last year on waffles alone.
In addition to their subscription plans, they also have at least 3 different revenue streams, at least the last time I counted. They're able to sell physical products based off of users' Canva designs, including anything from t-shirts, posters, business cards, whatever you think of. You name it, they've got it. They sell design courses on their design school website, where you can learn all about how to really master Canva or even other basic design skills. And finally, they also are able to sell premium designs, photos, things like that to all users on the platform. A lot of the designs that are for sale are actually designs that were built by other startups that they've acquired. With 55 million active users, of which 3 million are paid subscribers, in more than 190 countries, and with more than 250 million presentations created to date, it really feels like Canva has an extremely solid customer base, a fantastic business model, and is growing really, really fast. Okay, enough of the fun facts. Let's talk about my feelings.
Do you even go to this school?
No, I just have a lot of feelings.
Okay, go home.
What's really cool to me about Canva is the fact that it is so easy to use, easy enough to use that anybody can use it, not just graphic designers, and the fact that it is completely free until you really want to take advantage of more advanced tools. In fact, Canva's freemium model has been a massive factor for their growth. Canva has taken a niche product, really a niche industry in general, and made it incredibly easy to use and accessible to everybody. As somebody who's been using creative softwares for the last 2 decades, this really feels like a game changer. Adobe has been a behemoth for as long as I can remember. I remember learning how to use Adobe Photoshop in the 8th grade. Back in like 2005? It was like 16 years ago, so it's been a while. And Adobe Photoshop has been the industry standard ever since. While Photoshop and Illustrator are both phenomenal tools, they're also incredibly difficult to learn. It's the type of thing where I know I can figure it out if I try, but the difficulty factor makes even me nervous to really take advantage of all the tools that are on there. In the end, Adobe Photoshop is so complex that I've never felt really that comfortable using it. The thing is, for years, Adobe Photoshop has really dominated the space. Technically, it still does, and it makes sense. It's a phenomenal tool with incredible capacities and is able to do tons of amazing things that I don't even know about. And there also just really hasn't been a lot of competition, or at least competition that can keep up with Adobe. Canva has given the whole industry a wake-up call that things can be done differently and things can be done better. So what's my verdict? I mean, I said it at the beginning, but if you haven't guessed already, I love Canva and I think they're going to the moon. The product is phenomenal. The business model is so smart, especially because so many graphic design tools kind of scare people off with their complexity. Graphic designers are able to start using Canva a lot, learn how all the different tools work, and then go to work and say, hey, you know, we could get Photoshop, which costs a lot of money, and yes, it's great, but really all we need is Canva and it's way cheaper. Or for small companies, it's free. The product is phenomenal. It's insanely popular. Seriously, every single YouTuber you watch uses Canva to help build their thumbnails. Sometimes it's a mix of Photoshop and Canva, but seriously, every single one. I don't know that they're gonna surpass Adobe, but in a way I really hope so. I think Adobe is great, but I don't think it's for everyone. And the great thing about Canva is that literally anybody can use it. You know, not everybody needs the most professional presentation of all time, but being able to make something that looks beautiful or looks a little snazzy can be really helpful if you're, you know, presenting something to your boss and you want to show off a little bit, or if you're pitching to an investor and you can't afford a graphic designer. I think Canva can be used for absolutely everyone. I think students are going to start to use it like crazy, and that as they continue to graduate, everybody is going to start using it just in general. I wouldn't be surprised if Adobe Photoshop ends up making a little bit more money than Canva in the long run, but I do think that Canva is definitely going to outstrip Adobe Photoshop when it comes to users, simply because the product is so good and it's so much easier to use. But enough from me, what do you think? Do you think I'm right about Canva, or is there something that I've overlooked? Do you guys have a different graphic design software that I haven't heard of that you prefer over Canva? Are you just as obsessed as I am? Please let me know in the comments. I would really love to hear it. Or if you think my, you know, financial predictions are off, I would also be really interested to hear about that and hear why. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm brand new on YouTube and really could use some love. But yeah, overall, I post every Tuesday and Thursdays talking about startups, tech, the works. Would love to see you again. Thank you so much. Bye. I want to say Canva users. Is that what they call them? Canva users! Get rid of that R. Nailed it!